In our trials, we often say, see if you can do this 3 times a week, but if you have the time and can schedule into your lives, more is better here. But this observing practice, this orienting practice, is again a combination of mindful breathing, resting the attention on the breath where it's most vivid, either at the nostrils or as the chest expands, and then if you follow the instructions of your therapist's voice, you will escort your attention to different parts of the body. And this is going to help you have more flexible and pliant attention. After the patient has had some access to this practice, the second of these practices is introduced. We refer to it as the allowing practice. And the underlying goal of the allowing practice is to sustain your attention on percepts that have some emotional meaning to you. So these are things where you are aware that there are cues for reward, but also cues for safety and threat. And your job is to hold all that so that you are able to realize, how much can I be drawn and listen to those cues for safety, and how can I stay in touch with the opportunities for reward that I'm sensing as well. In the various ERTs, the daily version of this, the one that we use the most is a mindfulness of emotions practice, and we'll actually practice it together in a few minutes. So I'll review it then. But in some of our manuals, we've also used a more open presence meditation practice. So instead of simply anchoring the attention on the breath and escorting it back if the mind wanders, the invitation is to sit with just open awareness and to notice what comes and goes in the mind. So, this open presence or open monitoring practice is common to, some meditation teachers who you may be familiar with, like Roshi Joan Halifax or John Kabat-Zinn. And there's an idea that Doug has used with good effect with some patients. And I'm going to turn the mic over to him to tell you about this practice, and that will give way to us practicing the mindfulness of emotions, or the allowing practice together.
Thanks, Dave. So this is an exemplar metaphor, really, that I like to share with my clients. And again, in that spirit of being flexible, some clients can utilize this metaphor. You might soften it. We'll talk about different ways of utilizing it. And other ways you can kind of describe the ability to hold, multiple things, to allow things that might be in conflict in our attentional space. And so this is not meant to assign things in their life. It's really meant to be an exemplar. And then Dave's going to talk about the actual practice of allowing, how we build the muscle of allowing. This is not really a meditation, but it is an imagery exercise. So we're going to try it all together now, if you're all willing to join us in doing this. So if you could advance, Dave. I'd like you to imagine a beautiful nature scene with beautiful blue skies. I hear it's blue over in Lancaster, blue skies in Lancaster. So it's imagine got your window, birds flying overhead in the scene, beautiful rolling green hills, maybe some colorful trees with colorful leaves, and a stream winding along in the middle of our scene. And next to that stream is a rock. And you can advance, Dave. And on that rock is a bunny, a dead bunny with all of its guts spilling out and blood pouring down the rocks. Now, Dave, can you go back, please? So while Dave's getting us back there, and we'll just stay right there. And one more, thanks, Dave. I want people to just imagine that and let us know if you want to go into the Q&A or the chat. I don't know which one to do with this one, but just to say where their mind went. Well, some people, their mind goes right to that bunny, to that dead bunny, the dead bunny. Thanks, Theron. Yeah, dead bunny. Another one, Tammy. Did anyone go to the blue sky? Okay, I can answer. Sometimes our clients want to look just at the blue sky. Now I want to ask everybody to imagine that same scene with closing their eyes, with the blue skies, the rolling hills, the green trees, the birds flying, that stream, and the dead bunny as if they were seeing it in a museum or in a theater all together, seeing that whole scene together, blue skies and the dead bunny. And this is what is at the essence of allowing, being able to hold things that are in conflict in the images of our minds. It's often what we try not to happen. This is one of our hardest skills. You may notice that this is our second skill. For those of you who have done meditation before, you might say that's hard to give someone in meditative practice. We're really interested in, as Dave said, in building our skills based on elaboration, on need. And one can do allowing very non-elaboratively. We don't have to call up visions. We could just hold those pieces in our minds. So we do ask our clients to do this. For some of your clients, it might be too, some clients who have dealt with death and trauma, you might not want to use the dead bunny, and that's totally understandable. You can use a rotting tree, rot on a tree. You can create your own example of how to hold two things at once. But what this is meant to do is help the client see that it's possible to hold things in one's mind in conflict, even when they're disagreeing or hard to have all together, to make a larger vessel to hold these two things together. So this is a way that we might explain it to someone. And I'll turn it back to Dave to show the actual practice that we work on with clients to actually learn the allowing skill.